This is Dallas, coming at you live from New Jersey. Yo, what's good? Today I just wanted to share my thoughts on the coronavirus that's going on. You know, it's really interesting to see different states, different political stances where the climate is completely different about how they treat what's going on in the disease. In Ohio, it's really Republican. It seemed like people were out doing stuff like they didn't think that the pandemic was real. And then here in New Jersey, everyone fucking wears masks everywhere, and you have to wear them in stores. But it's interesting because my ideas on it are definitely very different from people my age and what's going on. It's really interesting to see how quick people are willing to give up their liberty when they're scared of losing their life. Like, coronavirus is definitely a very scary thing. I think one of the biggest, scariest things about it is that we don't know a lot of things about its nature. Science is very slow at learning and understanding different things that's going on with a new disease that pops up out of nowhere. And for me, I am very afraid of COVID, like I have diabetes myself. I'm one of the at-risk people. And with my liberty stance, I don't take the stance of some people that are all talking about how they don't have to wear masks, talking about how it's all fake news. I do believe a lot of the headlines, but it's interesting because so many people ask for mandates from the government. Now, the government has to do something. They have to force people to wear masks. They have to force people to stay at home. They have to force people to not work. And even if my solution is kind of crazy. I think they shouldn't do really anything with forcing people to do stuff. Let the people do what they will. At the same time, have political leaders showing that this is real, that everyone should choose to follow quarantine and choose to wear a mask. And I think that the biggest complaint or thing people would say to that don't agree with that would say, I'm not safe in public areas when some other random person isn't wearing a mask. When you go out of your house, you can't decide how everyone else is going to act. You should just assume that anything can happen. Because that's the truth of it. Anything can happen. If you feel that your mask protects you, then wear it to protect you. And that is the only real safety you should have when you're going out in public. There's people on social media that are shaming people for not wearing masks, and that's completely fine. Like, that's within their rights, their First Amendment rights. I believe they should do that. But when they get to a point of telling government officials that you have to mandate that everyone wears a mask, that is when it's dangerous, because people should be able to decide what they want to do with their health. You know, one of the things I've learned through this pandemic is health is a lot more than just your body. It's also, there's so many other factors into it. For example, income, people getting money. A lot of people that want to give up these liberties want the government to come out and bail them out. And it's gonna sound tacky as fuck that you've heard from a whole bunch of other Republicans and shit. I'm not a Republican. I consider myself a libertarian. So many people are so ingrained in the political parties that that's the only way they can speak in their narrative. And it's hard for people to be free with ideas and different ideals. And the only people that really want to talk about it are the ones that are heavily into a political ideology and refuse to listen, but we'll tell you all about it. It's crazy. But essentially, I don't believe now is the time to be getting rid of people's freedom, their liberty to decide what they want. They should have the power to take as little risk or as much risk as they want in terms of this pandemic. And I think it's definitely hard because we live in a capitalist society where it's all me. So we think the only way we're going to be able to do it in a me society is to have government is like the only efficient way to get people to work together. And people just don't understand that politicians are just as bad as anyone else in the economy. They just run off of public opinion and lies instead of money, like capitalists do. So basically, people should be able to do whatever they want with their health, whatever is gonna make them stay alive. And if that includes going to work, even though it's dangerous out there, that's a choice that they can make. And you know, another side note is that, you know, like a lot of people are I'm such a suburban white dude. I just locked my doors because I'm in the hood, which like makes sense, but every time I do it I just think, I'm such a middle-class white dude, like raised middle-class white dude from the suburbs that doesn't know anything. Okay. Now I'm just poor in college. It's completely different. Like I don't have any fears about the economy. Because when everyone that's making those snap judgments being like, oh, the economy suffers so much, and no. And like, it's like, bro, even the fact that we have so many people that are so worried about it shows that we're going to come back when COVID ends. Like, when COVID's all said and done, you're going to have people being like, we gotta get the economy back on track. And they're going to be rushing to get jobs. In Ohio, where they had a much more free state for people to decide what they want to do, a lot of places were hiring. A lot of places were growing in just the amount of people that they were employing. Now, is that the correct answer? The cases of transference is definitely going to go up in that state if everyone just thinks it's a giant hoax. But at the same time, there are poor people who need to work to get food on the table. I don't think we should be having these people that need money and resources to have like a whole bunch of people just grouping together and saying we need the government to do something. I think the more that we let people choose what they want to do, you're gonna have people who need money to survive in these poor areas that are gonna take extra risk, and that's all within their right. Let the dumb people be dumb. Let the smart people be smart. Let everyone figure out after the fact whether or not they were being too hardcore or not hardcore enough with it, with how much they were quarantining. You know, and during this whole thing, I just hate how everyone... freedom of ideas is not really encouraged in this country. Like, it's very people following the political narratives. Nobody wants to analyze should the government be doing something, or just ideas in general and things. And it's sad because I have no one to discuss this with that's not a huge Democrat or a huge Republican. I definitely should talk with these people and debate with them, because, you know, one of the things that I've heard so much with what's going on with the protests with Black Lives Matter and people talking about COVID is people just end up saying, like, if you believe this certain thing, don't talk to me. Don't be my friend. Completely, like, just cut all contact with me, because I do not want to be with such a person like you, and you are destroying my life. And that just cuts off all communication, all learning. Like, you've got to be willing to open your mind to other ideologies. I don't think you can open your mind to other ideologies and like feel like be bad from doing that. Like, nobody really values freedom of thought. At least that's the appearance in culture. Even though, of course, there's so many people that don't follow political parties and do their own thing, but they don't really discuss any of the politics or what's going on. And it's like, fuck. Who am I supposed to talk to about this shit, huh? That's not a crazy Republican or a crazy Democrat. But I guess that's the only thing I can do. I gotta talk with the crazy Republicans and the crazy Democrats, man. Basically, I wish people would value liberty more at this time. And that people... because there's government, and then there's people and the culture of the people. And it's like, do we really need the government to be telling people what to do? Or can we just ultimately decide what we want to do? You leave your house, you go to a public place, you don't know if that's going to be safe, and that's just the way it is. Then stay quarantined. Don't impose your ideas on other people and say, you have to do this so we all don't die. I'm just saying some dumb bullshit, but hey, I believe until next time, YouTube, I'm out here in Trenton, New Jersey, just kicking it, looking white as fuck from the suburbs. Not fitting in at all. Hey, yo, the corny, goofy, white cracker boy. Gotta go back to my suburb. Okay, bye.